Everybody says they want to grow until life starts stripping away their comfort, their pride, their excuses. Growth isn't about feeling good. It's about getting real. It demands silence. It demands sacrifice. And it demands the kind of discipline most people run from. Because let's be honest, it's easy to talk about leveling up when things are easy. It's easy to dream when nothing is being tested. But the moment life applies pressure, the truth comes out. Who's really serious and who's just pretending? Who's here for results and who's just here for attention? Growth isn't cute. It's not wrapped in motivational quotes or trending affirmations. It's raw. It's painful. It's the moments where you question if it's even worth it, and then decide to keep going anyway. It's waking up early when no one is clapping for you. It's saying no to the very thing that used to define your comfort. It's walking away from familiar chaos and choosing unfamiliar clarity. It's staying silent when your ego wants to speak. It's fighting battles inside your mind that no one ever sees. Growth is personal. It's lonely. It's brutal. But it's also the most powerful gift you'll ever give yourself. See, people want results, but they don't want the refinement. They want success, but they don't want sacrifice. They want power without pain, discipline without delay, victory without vulnerability. But you can't grow if you're still trying to stay comfortable. You can't evolve if you're protecting your pride more than your potential. Growth comes when you drop the mask and get brutally honest with yourself. And here's what most won't tell you. Growth will cost you. It will cost you old identities. It will cost you the approval of people who were only clapping for your weaker version. It will cost you the comfort of routine, the addiction to mediocrity, the distractions that kept you numb. But what you get in return is everything. You get clarity. You get peace. You get to finally look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm proud of the person I'm becoming. You stop chasing validation. You stop waiting to be picked. You stop asking for permission to rise. And you start choosing growth daily. You start moving like someone who isn't playing anymore. You build habits that sharpen you. You build focus that protects you. You build character that leads you. And that's the difference. Because when you grow, really grow, you don't just change your environment, you change your standard. You stop settling for crumbs when you know you were built for more. You stop explaining your dream to people who only speak in limitations. You stop showing up halfway and start living fully. So before we dive into these 10 rules, I need you to make a decision. Do you want to feel good, or do you want to become great? Do you want to stay comfortable, or do you want to rise? Growth doesn't hand itself to the interested. It rewards the committed. It meets the ones who are tired of excuses and ready to live with intention. You want to grow? Then don't just take notes. Don't just nod your head. Don't just post a quote. Live these rules, one by one, day by day, until the old version of you is unrecognizable. This isn't self-help. This is self-respect. This is what separates the ones who grow from the ones who stay stuck in cycles. The ones who build legacies from the ones who keep making excuses. The ones who lead from the ones who watch. Let's get into it. Rule number 1, tell yourself the truth, no matter how ugly it is. Growth begins where comfort ends, but it starts with something even deeper than discipline. It starts with truth. If you want to grow in life, the first rule is simple. Stop lying to yourself. Stop saying you're trying when you're barely showing up. Stop blaming the world when deep down, you know you're avoiding your own reflection. Stop calling it bad luck when it's really just a pattern of bad choices. Here's the harsh truth. You can't change what you keep defending. You can't fix what you refuse to face. Growth doesn't come from pretending you're okay. It comes from saying, I've been slacking. I've been afraid. I've been making excuses. It comes from looking your weakness dead in the eye and saying, not anymore. Nobody grows by being coddled. You grow by being called out, especially by yourself. The world will lie to you. People will flatter you. But your life will always mirror your level of honesty. So be brutal. Audit your habits. Audit your thinking. Audit your circle. Ask yourself the real questions. Am I doing my best, or just doing enough to get by? Am I building, or just staying busy? Am I aligning my actions with my vision, or just talking a big game? It's not easy, but that's why it works. Because once you stop sugarcoating your patterns, you finally start changing them. You stop decorating your excuses and start destroying them. And that's when growth gets real. No more fake accountability. No more calling weakness self-care. No more hiding behind potential. From now on, you tell yourself the truth, even when it hurts. Especially when it hurts. Because the truth, that's where your freedom lives. Rule number 2, master the boring things. That's where greatness lives. Everyone wants to grow until they realize growth is repetitive, not glamorous, not exciting, just consistent. See, the people who really transform their lives aren't chasing shiny tactics. They're mastering the basics, over and over and over again. They wake up early. They stay disciplined. They eat clean. They move their body. They track their time. They do the work, even when they're not in the mood. If you're too proud to be consistent in the small things, you'll never earn the big things, because success isn't about random intensity, it's about sustained commitment. The world celebrates moments, but life is built in routines. Your future isn't shaped by what you do once in a while. It's shaped by what you do every single day, when no one's watching, when nothing is trending, when no one is clapping. Growth lives in the unsexy, in the silence, in the repetition. Everyone wants to be a lion until it's time to do lion things. Everyone wants results until it's time to grind again and again and again without applause. But those who stick with the boring work, they don't stay average. They become dangerous, sharp, focused, grounded. Because once you fall in love with the process, the outcome becomes inevitable. So stop chasing motivation, chase mastery. And if it feels boring, good. That means you're finally doing it right. Rule number 3, stop explaining your growth to people who want you small. If you want to grow in life, here's a rule you better tattoo on your mindset. Stop shrinking for people who gave up on themselves. Because the moment you start changing, the moment you start moving different, thinking different, walking different, someone's going to feel uncomfortable. And it won't be strangers. It'll be people close to you. They'll say, "You've changed. You're acting different. You think you're better now?" Yes, you have changed. And you're not apologizing for it, because you didn't come this far to keep playing small just to make insecure people feel safe. Not everyone will clap for your growth. Not everyone will understand your decisions. Not everyone will support the version of you that doesn't tolerate mediocrity anymore. And that's okay. Growth is personal. It's not a group project. You don't owe explanations to people who didn't show up for your struggle. Some of them only liked the version of you that was quiet, unsure, dependent. Some of them only loved you when you stayed in the cage they built for you. Now that you're thinking bigger, they feel threatened. Now that you're choosing peace over drama, purpose over chaos, they'll call you selfish. Let them talk. If your growth offends someone, they were never rooting for you, just controlling you. So walk boldly, move silently if you must, but don't dilute your ambition for anyone. You don't have to dim your light to keep someone else comfortable in the dark. Let them adjust, or let them leave. Either way, you're not shrinking again. Rule number 4, discipline is doing it when it's no longer exciting. Let's make one thing clear. Discipline is the foundation of every version of greatness. Not talent, not motivation, not luck. Discipline. Discipline is what keeps you going when the fire is gone, when the novelty wears off, when the crowd disappears, when no one's asking how it's going, but you keep showing up anyway. You see, most people start strong. They commit when it's fresh, when it feels good, when it's still exciting. But as soon as it gets routine, as soon as it gets quiet, repetitive, or difficult, they fall off because they were in love with the feeling, not the responsibility. Discipline is different. Discipline says, "I don't care how I feel, this still gets done." Discipline turns you into the kind of person who's dangerous in the dark, who doesn't need praise, comfort, or a perfect environment, because discipline isn't about pushing harder, it's about pushing consistently. You train when you're tired, you focus when you're distracted, you act with purpose even when emotions scream otherwise. Discipline is what separates people who want growth from those who create it. The ones who win long-term are not always the most talented, but they are the most disciplined. So, if you want to grow, don't just wait to feel motivated. Train yourself to move, regardless of how you feel. That's the difference. That's the edge. That's the rule. Rule number 5, learn to be alone without falling apart. If you want real growth, learn this early. Isolation isn't punishment, it's preparation. There will be seasons where nobody checks in, nobody understands you, nobody supports what you're building, and you're left with one person, yourself. This is where most people crumble, because they've never learned to sit with their own silence. They've always needed a crowd to feel worthy, a voice to validate them, a distraction to keep them from thinking. But growth requires solitude. It requires sitting in the quiet long enough to hear your own voice again, to ask yourself, who am I when no one's watching? Who am I when no one claps? Who am I when it's just me and the work? That's where confidence is born, not in crowds, but in solitude. Not in being seen, but in being sure. Because if you can't stand by yourself, you'll always attach to the wrong people just to feel whole. You'll settle, you'll shrink, you'll sabotage your growth just to avoid being alone. So flip the script. Learn to love your own company, to enjoy your thoughts, to respect your peace. Because if you can master solitude, you become unbreakable. You stop needing approval. You stop seeking validation. You stop fearing abandonment. So, once you no longer fear being alone, you start choosing only the people who add value to your life. Growth doesn't require company, it requires clarity. And sometimes clarity only comes when you step away from the noise. So learn to be alone. Not lonely, but aligned. That's the rule. Rule number 6. Let go of what no longer serves you. If you're serious about growing, there's one thing you must do often. Let go. Let go of the old habits. Let go of the comfort zones. Let go of the version of you that's just surviving instead of evolving. See, growth isn't just about adding things to your life. It's about removing the things holding you back. Some people are weighed down, not because they're weak, but because they refuse to drop what's no longer needed. Old friendships that drain you. Old beliefs that limit you. Old routines that keep you in circles. Even old versions of success that no longer align with who you're becoming. You cannot step into your next chapter while clinging to the last one. Let me tell you something real. You don't need more time. You need less baggage. Most people aren't stuck because they don't know where to go. They're stuck because they're scared to leave what's familiar. They confuse loyalty with limitation. They stay loyal to pain, to patterns, to people, and wonder why they feel empty every night. Letting go is not failure. It's freedom. It takes strength to say, this no longer fits where I'm headed. This habit doesn't serve the life I'm building. This person doesn't speak to the future I've committed to. Growth requires pruning, cutting back so you can grow forward, saying goodbye so you can say yes to something greater. So look around. Look within. What are you still holding on to that's already let go of you? Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for things to fall apart. Rule number 7, stop waiting. No one is coming to save you. This one's going to sting for some people. But if you truly want to grow, hear me loud and clear. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for support. Stop waiting for someone to give you permission. Because the truth is, no one is coming to save you. Not your parents, not your friends, not your mentor, not your boss, and definitely not the world. This life, it's on you. The results you want, the peace you crave, the person you're trying to become, they're all waiting on you to move. So many people stay stuck not because they lack potential, but because they're addicted to delay. They keep saying, I'll start when I'm ready. I'll try when I'm less busy. I'll move when I feel more confident. But that day never comes. Because confidence doesn't come before action, it comes after consistency. You want to grow? Then get up and build. With shaky hands, with an uncertain heart, with fear in your chest if you must. But build anyway. Don't wait to be discovered. Discover yourself. Don't wait to be rescued. Rescue your own potential. You've got breath in your lungs. You've got a vision in your heart. You've got pain that turned into wisdom and setbacks that turned into fuel. So use it. Stop looking around. Start looking within. Everything you need is already inside you. You just haven't backed it with belief and bold action. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. Today. Now. Right where you are. No more waiting. Rule number 8. Protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Let me tell you something most people never realize until it's too late. Your energy is your life currency, not your time, not your money, your energy. Because without energy, you can't think clearly, you can't build deeply, you can't grow steadily. And yet, most people spend their energy like it's unlimited. They give it to drama, they give it to distractions, they give it to people who only show up when they need something. And by the time they get to their goals, they're drained, depleted, burned out before they even begin. Here's the rule: protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. Start filtering what gets access to your mind. Not everything deserves your reaction. Not every invitation deserves a yes. Not every person deserves your time. And hear this. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is walk away. Walk away from noise. Walk away from fake urgency. Walk away from the people who confuse access with entitlement. You don't owe your peace to anyone. You don't have to explain your boundaries to those who constantly break them. You don't need to feel guilty for choosing your growth over someone else's comfort. The stronger you grow, the more intentional you must become with where your energy flows. So ask yourself daily, is this building me or draining me? Is this aligned or just familiar? Is this worth my energy or just loud? Because everything in your life is either fueling your future or quietly killing your potential. So protect it, not out of fear, but out of respect for the person you're becoming. Rule number 9. Be humble enough to learn and bold enough to apply. Growth has two enemies, ego and fear. Ego says, I already know. Fear says, what if I fail? And both will keep you stuck. If you want to grow, you have to be humble enough to stay a student, no matter how far you've come. You have to be willing to ask questions, take correction, and admit what you don't know. Because no matter how strong you are, no matter how wise you think you've become, there's always more to learn. But learning alone is not enough. You also have to be bold enough to apply what you've learned, to take action, to test it, to fail forward. Growth and progress isn't found in just reading books or watching videos or taking notes. It's found in execution, in stepping into the unknown, in turning lessons into action, even if it's messy. You don't get stronger by collecting knowledge. You grow by using it. You don't evolve by playing it safe. You grow by risking failure in the name of becoming better. People who grow the fastest aren't the ones who always get it right. They're the ones who aren't afraid to get it wrong. So be a student, be a doer. Be someone who stays teachable and takes bold steps. Because when you combine humility with courage, you become unshakable. Rule number 10, build a life you don't need to escape from. Let's close this with something deep and honest. If your growth isn't leading you to peace, then you're not growing. You're just performing. Because at the end of all the hustle, all the effort, all the long nights and early mornings, what's it for? More stuff? More applause, more fake success that leaves you restless at night? The real goal is freedom, peace of mind, alignment, waking up without resentment, looking in the mirror and being proud of the life you've built, not exhausted by it. Too many people are building resumes but losing their identity. They're stacking trophies in public while quietly breaking in private. You weren't born to just work, perform, and impress. You were born to live, to create, to contribute, To wake up and say, this life feels right. And that doesn't mean it's easy. It means it's real. It means you've built it with intention. It means you've made sacrifices that made sense. It means you've grown into someone you actually enjoy being. So stop chasing a life that only looks good online. Build one that feels good in your soul. A life with boundaries, with health, with purpose, with values, with relationships that nourish, not just exist. Because the goal isn't to escape life on weekends. It's to design a life you don't want to run from on Monday morning.